Have you ever observed someone talking about something they're really passionate about? It could be about their kids, it could be about a new love, it could be about a book they're writing, or maybe a course they're thinking of signing up for. It could be classes that they're attending. It could be an idea they're pursuing, but whatever it is, observing someone talking about something they're really passionate about is contagious. And it's really quite intoxicating. And my question to you is, when was the last time you were passionate about something? And was it a life-defining moment? Did you pursue it? And for me, I remember a time when about 6 years ago, I attended my first writers' retreat in Paris. It was run by New York Times bestselling authors, and I thought, I was toying with the idea of writing. I'd always been very comfortable with numbers. Being a financial advisor, I loved it. I was comfortable with numbers. Growing up, I wasn't very familiar with the written word, but I thought, I'm going to attend this writing retreat. And at that writing retreat, I discovered a real passion for writing. Now, I was in Paris, so I had to make sure, I had to decipher between whether I was passionate about because I was in Paris or because of the writing. I mean, it's hard not to fall in love with something in Paris. But here I was at this writer's retreat. And after the 5 days, it was a life-defining moment. And when I got back to work, I had to be clear about, was it again Paris or a midlife crisis? Or was it the writing I was passionate about? So every morning on my way to work, I would walk to work, I would go to the gym, and then I'd write for 45 minutes before work started. And I remember that it brought me so much joy, and I signed up for another writer's retreat. So I did this for a few years before I realized it was the writing that I had fallen in love with. It was really a life-defining moment, and I was so passionate about it. And then walking to work one day, I said, it'd be so nice just to be a writer, to be a freelance writer, and also help other people pursue their passions. And then, like my friend who was at the beach in Vancouver saying, why don't I said the same thing to myself, well, why don't I? And it's really neat. The minute I articulated with absolute conviction a passion I wanted to pursue, it seems like the entire universe, God, whatever you want to call it, conspired to help me get to my desire, to fulfill my desire. So, we grew up with all these ideas, and society does it too, where we've got to get all our ducks in a row, or we've got to make sure the numbers add up. So we grew up being told these things, desires aside, make sure you've got your ducks in a row, make sure you've got the numbers all right. I'm not telling you to abandon that. What I'm telling you to do is to be so clear about what you're passionate about, and absolutely clear about your desire. Because when you're clear, you'll find that doors start opening that you never knew existed. And much like for me, I said to someone, in a year, my whole life's going to change. It's like once I decided it, in a year, my life did. My dream was to write, to be a writer, to be helping other people get to what they want to, and to be living in a warm place. And I did do that. So what I'm saying is that be really clear about what sets your soul on fire, and pursue it with a passion.